The cold is creeping up on us these days. The sun has not left, but its light cannot fight the cold temperatures anymore. Many plants are withdrawing back into the roots underneath the surface of the earth. And as a forager, this leaves me with fewer options. However, there are still things to forage in Norway, and some of them you can even forage through all of winter. In this video, I will not go in depth on identification of these plants, since that would become a very long video. Therefore, it's important that you do your proper research before foraging this yourself. Always take care to check if the plant is alright for you to consume, especially if you are pregnant, elderly, or are using any type of medication. The first one I want to mention is yarrow. Yarrow can be foraged from early spring until early winter. Its leaves are shaped almost like a feather, and if you look closely, you will find that it has some very short hairs. The flowers are mostly white, but can also be slight pink. You will probably only find dead flowers at this time of the year, but look at the bottom of the stem and you can still find the green leaves. Yarrow has been used in natural medicine for centuries, and we can find mention of this plant in both ancient Chinese and Egyptian scripts. In Norway, it has been used mostly to heal wounds or to help with digestion. Also, it was used as a substitute for tobacco and to drive away devils. I use it to spice up my food, to make tea, or to make herb butter. Don't use too much though, as it has a pretty strong taste. The next plant, which you can forage all through winter, is juniper. Juniper is a bush that grows almost all over Norway, and if you like gin, you probably know that this bush is where the taste of that comes from. In winter, I forage the berries of the bushes. Afterwards, I dry them and store them for use in different dinners. I use both green and blue berries, but I separate them since they have a slightly different taste. Using some branches from the bush itself is also nice, especially if you are smoking food of any kind and if you want to add that juniper taste to the smokiness. Next one up is something that I've already mentioned in previous videos, which is lingonberries. The lingonberries can handle quite a bit of cold because of some of the components in the berries, like benzoic acid. This means that you can forage them even now, in November. The leaves stay green through winter. I dry them in the oven and I use them for tea. In Norway, this tea has been used to treat urinary infections back in the day. I also want to mention the beautiful spruce tree. The needles can be used to flavor different dishes and to make tea, like I did with the pine needles in my last video. Just make sure you have the right type of spruce and that you are not confusing it with the poisonous yew tree. The same goes for pine. Pine, which I talked about in my last video as well, has a nice and fresh flavor and can be cut to spread on top of your dinner or brewed as tea. You can see my tea recipe in the previous video. I find the pine needles to be especially good with fish, as they add that little bit of a lemon-like flavor to it. Something I did not mention in my last video though, is that you can also forage the outer bark from pine trees. I grind it into a fine flour and use it in things I bake. In Norway, it has been common to use the inner layer of the bark for things, during times where the flour was difficult to obtain. The inner bark of the tree is more nutritious, but cutting it out can hurt the tree. So I prefer to look for the pieces that the tree no longer needs. The bark can add a very nice and foresty flavor to your bakeries. Remember to check if the bark is free of moss and similar things, as you don't know if this is poisonous or not. Pines are a big part of our surroundings, not just in the forest. It's a strong tree with antibacterial properties, so it has been used a lot when building houses, boats, and other durable constructions. It's also the main ingredient in wood tar, which is to this day used to protect buildings and similar constructions from molding. You can see the extensive use of the wood tar all around Norwegian villages, where the walls of the farms are often black. Hello everyone! I just wanted to take one moment to talk to the camera a little bit and just say thank you to every one of you who are commenting such nice things and yeah, in general all the response I get on my videos. I'm really honored that you take the time to write something and that you watch the videos and that you like the videos and that you learn something from the videos. It's just, yeah, I'm very grateful, so thank you very much for that. If you would like to have some access to a little bit more of my foraging tips and maybe support me in my work with this channel, then I now have a Patreon page that you can check out. I have left the link below. So thank you again for watching this video, and I hope you will have a nice November. So yeah, see you, bye.